All right, how's everyone doing? I am Rich CELENZA. Thanks for tuning in to the Rich CELENZA Show. WTF are you talking about? So today what I want to get into is you got to find out what works for you. And the reason I bring this up is because I'm going to actually be shooting a video today on YouTube at my gym regarding working out and you needing to find a specific, or not even specific, you need to find out what works best for you when working out. Not always following what everybody else is doing or has done in the past or currently, because people don't realize a lot of times we're all totally different people. We have all different genetics. We all live different lives. And a lot of times we get caught following certain routines, which could be good and bad. At the beginning, I think it's good because that's how you learn. But eventually, you need to figure out what is truly working for you and what is giving you the results you desire. And by doing that, you're either going to have to take notes or really study what you're doing, or basically keeping an eye on that. And in this case, in this podcast, what I'm going to talk about is doing the same thing in your life, because I think you got to do you. And I don't think a lot of people really realize that about themselves, is you have to figure out whatever you need to figure out regarding what you want to do in your life. And it's going to take time to figure that out. A lot of us, I think, have been programmed in our lives to do certain things, which is great. We all get it. A lot of us may just wake up, we have breakfast, if we have family, we have to, or if we have kids, get them to school. If we don't have kids, we got to get to work. We get to work, we have to get our job done. After work, you may either go with your buddies or meet people for drinks. You may just go work out. You may have to get home. You may have a second job. We're all kind of programmed to do certain things. I get it. But on the other end is you may have to start figuring out independently. And I think I fell into a category, especially when I was married, as becoming something that I necessarily wasn't. And I think a lot of us end up in that position. That doesn't make us bad people, and that doesn't make us a phony. I just think sometimes we're doing things that we wish we were doing something else. And that doesn't mean that I wasn't happy being married or spending tons of time with my kids or doing a lot of things that I wanted to do. I just think I slowly transformed into, I'll say, like a Mr. Mom character or whatever, that's somebody who I wasn't at all. But if you were on the outside looking in, you'd think that that's who I was, which eventually I despised that identity. And that doesn't mean, again, that I loved my children and I loved being a father, but I was not a Mr. Mom, and I started to slide into that position. And then before you know it, I resented that, and then before you know it, I resented anybody who looked at me that way. And I think in life a lot of times when we don't do, or we don't become who we want to become, then we get very aggravated and lash out. And the only person to blame for not becoming who you want to be is really yourself. And I think a lot of us want to blame other people. It could be parents, siblings, other family members, colleagues, friends, always kind of, or the environment where you live. You want to blame something or someone for the situation you're in. And you got to realize a lot of times you are the one that put yourself in that position. And it wasn't usually just one bad decision. I think a lot of times it's multiple ones that just add up. And you really got to be very careful, especially for young people, anybody young listening to this, because you don't realize a lot of times one bad decision, or one decision, regardless if it's bad or not, maybe at that point in time, can lead to nothing but chaos and misery. I talk about that all the time. We all have good days and bad days, good weeks, bad weeks, good years, bad years. But, it could be, even if you're a guy or a woman, you could get, having sex, unprotected sex, you get pregnant. That's a game changer. You can't undo that. You may get smashed and go out and drive a car and kill someone or yourself, or end up paralyzed. I'm just using examples. You can make one, and people, in an instant, your life can change. And I don't think a lot of people even realize that till it either happens to them or it happens to someone close to them. So when you're making your decisions in your life, I think for the most part, you have to make sure they're in your best interest a lot of times. That doesn't mean that if you're married, not, getting the opinion of whoever you're married to, or if you're in a relationship, or whatever the case may be. But I think as an individual, you need to make sure you stay loyal to who you are. Because if you're not loyal to yourself, no one else can be as well. You can't expect people to truly understand you or believe in you when you don't believe in yourself. And I talk a lot about that in my Mastering Self-Confidence program, where, a lot of guys have identities, I think a lot of times, that it's not who they are. Maybe in public they're one way, and then at home or personally, they're a complete different type of person. Does that make them bad? Not at all. But I think a lot of them are either, they just don't have the confidence to, I think, either go out and be who they want to be or go do the things they want to do. And I think that happens with women as well. Even though I'm not a woman, I don't want to speak for a woman. But I think a lot of times we get just confused. And again, we were programmed by society to tell us if we don't do all these certain things that, you're going to be judged or something bad is going to happen. That goes for a lot of things, including religion and politics and all these things that I think either the media or other people or whatever the case may be, it's always coming at you to make you sometimes feel bad about what you want to do or how you feel about certain things. But again, you got to do you. Back to my working out, very similar to life. I look at a lot of things because you have to go in there, and if you expect results, you have to take action. And you know what? You got to get sore. I just did a video on this. If you work out hard, the next day you're going to be sore. So you may, in your life, you may have to go out and do things where people are going to either not agree with you, may say things to you, may hurt your feelings, may bully you. I don't know. But you got to stand up for yourself. You got to take your lumps. You're going to get sore just like in a workout. But you have to come back the next day and work through those. You got to work through the soreness, I call it. And there's a big difference between being injured and being sore. I don't know if you've ever worked out, but some people, if they first start working out, they actually think they injured themselves, but they didn't. Their just muscles are very sore and fatigued because they've never been worked like that before. And that the same goes for life. I think a lot of times when people realize what they want to do and who they are, they start going out and it's an identity change, and then people start kind of, they're like, who the hell do you think you are? Or what are you doing now? That may not be right for you, but deep down inside, it's for you. You've just kind of been living a life that you may have not wanted to lead, but you ended up in this situation. So, so just make sure you do you. I'm not going to make this a long podcast. Pay attention to yourself. And I've been doing these podcasts talking about self-awareness because I don't think a lot of people, including myself, was really self-aware of their behavior, a lot of their actions. I just did a podcast on addictions where I think everyone, to a certain point that I'm realizing, including myself, is addicted to things. That doesn't necessarily mean it's alcohol, drugs, gambling, or things like that. It could be things like cell phone, YouTube, I talk about, even be addicted to like Coke, the drink, just a lot of things. And is that helping you or hurting you? Some of your addictions. I even think I have an addiction to going to the gym sometimes, even when I shouldn't be going, but it's almost an outlet, which I think sometimes it's great to go to a gym. But other times I think I'm over fatigued and I'm tiring myself out. So is that good or bad? It's probably not that good. And a lot of people think, oh no, the more fitness you do, the better off you are. I don't believe that to be the case. So, so if you want to get a chance, you might even want to check out my YouTube channel. It's Rich CELENZA. And you can find out all about me on richcelenza.com. I'm also on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. All right, take care, and please do what you want to do in your life. All right, as long as please don't try to hurt yourself or others when I say that. All right, take care, and I wish you nothing but the best.